welcome back to my channel, guys. And today it's going to be a very different video to what I've been filming previously. And pre-warning, GTA is on in the background because I was playing on my PlayStation and I've just got out of the bath, so I thought what a better time to film this than now. So this is just a little bit of an update as to what has been happening over the past quite a lot of months, because I've not really been here on YouTube, let's be honest. So I need to kind of get it off my chest so I can move on, because when I don't talk about things I tend to manifest what is happening and what I should have said and what I should have done. So here is the video of where I explain what the hell happened over the whole time I wasn't really filming. So we'll scroll back to, I think it was 2021. So obviously I got a job and I'd started this job pretty much the same day I had my interview, and fair enough, fine, I'm happy with that. So obviously I'm just kind of getting into it, and no disrespect to this company that I am talking about, I'm not going to mention no names, I'm not going to mention the company's name at all, because I still have that slight bit of respect for them, the tiniest bit. So I'm not going to expose their company or anyone in that company. So basically what had happened was I was working there for coming on a year, which took me up to 2022, which was October, November-ish. I think it was in October or November, it was one of the two. I do believe it was October. So I was working there, everything was going well, and I was really enjoying it, I'm not gonna lie. And then a couple weeks and weeks go by, I'm having meetings every week to see how I'm getting on. They're pretty standard kind of thing. And then it drastically took a turn, and I think that's when I lost respect for almost everybody that was in there. Apart from this one woman, she was absolutely lovely. I could not fault this woman, she was lovely, she treated me nice every single time I interacted with her. She was absolutely adorable, and I have nothing bad to say about her. She was absolutely lovely towards me, and I will never ever say anything bad about her because she was absolutely incredible, and she was always there when I needed help. So anyway, I start the job and I'm kind of thrown into it a little bit too quick. So the first day, which was my interview day, which I didn't expect, I thought, okay, it'll just be an interview, I'll go home, I'll hear about it. But no, it was the same day where they were like, okay, you've not worked in an office before or worked on phones or anything like that, so we'll take a chance on you. So I appreciated that a lot, because not many companies will take on a person that's worked in warehouses for the last God knows how many years. So I did really appreciate that. So my job role started. The first day it was very difficult for me because I'd never worked in this environment before, and immediately I was asked to log on to the computer and open Excel and do something, and it just really confused me. The first day I sat there for hours just twiddling my thumbs because I didn't know what to do, and it had to be kind of dumbed down to my level so I would actually understand it. I don't know if I did it right, but I did try my absolute hardest. So everything's going well for a couple months and everything's smooth sailing. I'm happy, getting on with it every day, just doing whatever I need to do. And a couple of months go by and I'm thinking, okay, like, when will I be going on the phones like everybody else? So I kind of felt like an outsider, because everyone else were on the phone and I was just sat there doing my own thing. And then eventually I was told, you know, like, you will be going on phones pretty soon, just listen to other people before you do go on these. So I was like, okay, I'm making notes, like, whenever I heard a phone call. 9 times out of 10 I put my earphones in just to listen to some music and concentrate on my own work, because that's just how I function. That's how I concentrate, by listening to music. And then I just steamroll through it. Like, when I had my earphones out, it would take me several hours to complete a simple task. But if I had my earphones in, I didn't talk, I did my own thing, got it done within like the hour, or as soon as I possibly can, or even before the day had finished. So I'm quite proud of that. So this is where it starts to get a bit gnarly and bad. So it's all going fine, and then one day I got the choice to go to a house and clean it, to kind of give myself a break from the office. So my boss did offer me, you know, you can go to this house to clean it if you want to, you don't have to, but I just thought it would be good for you to get you out of here for a little bit, because I could see you kind of getting stressed. So I thought, okay, you know, maybe it will do me some good. So I decided to take yes, you know. And at the time I didn't know that other people in this place didn't really want to do it. So it was mainly me that actually wanted to do it. So I thought, okay, I'll do it, because, you know, it's this once. I need to get out of this office, because, like, it would getting to that point where we're getting fed up every day. So I went to this house. Disgusting, may I add. It wasn't the cleanest. Anyway, I did whatever I needed to do. That house was an absolute nightmare. It was the worst house I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, did it, went home, and my mum and dad were like, why you look so disgusting, and why do you smell like a really musky, manky smell? And I was like, oh, yeah, my boss offered, like, you know, for me to clean this house. And they pretty much mentioned to me, like, you know, is this in your contract? Is it not? You know? And I kind of just brushed past it. I didn't think no of it. But I thought, you know what, for this once, it's fine. I'm not bothered. I'll just get on with it. I was at this house for a couple of days, so it did give me that little refresher reset. And then I noticed that once I've gone back to this environment, it just felt so different. Like, you guys know, when you walk into a room, you just get that sense that something's off, or something's just not clearly right. So I got this really odd sense inside of me. So I was quite concerned, because there was this one woman, and I'm not mentioning her name because I don't feel that's necessary, and I just don't want to speak of her name at all to anyone, because I just did not like this woman at all. So time goes by, and I'm like doing the best I can, trying my best to get through each day, and I don't even know where it started, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know when the nastiness started. It's like I tried my absolute hardest to be nice and friendly to every single person that I met. Whether I'd like them or not, I'd grow to like them, or to even at least get along with them, because I had to. But there were people that I liked there, and people that I had to kind of get on with just for the sake of this job. So fast forwarding a little bit, it's getting a bit ropier now working here, and this one woman just would not stop being awful to me. Every single day there'd be snide comments towards me about my earphones, about not cleaning something, not doing something right. There was just always something every day that I'd been nitpicked about. And it got to the point where, because my boss would take business holidays and just regular holidays, so when he did go on holidays, I was spoken to the worst you could possibly imagine. It made me feel like, and pardon my French, absolute shit every day. I'd go home, get frustrated, lay in bed thinking, why am I even bothering? Because this is not right. So I basically just kept going with it. And then when the boss did return from his holiday, this woman would be more up your ass than you could ever imagine. And because I didn't get over the fact of how she spoke to me, and I never will, because I've always grown up to be told if someone treats you like shit, you deserve to treat them like shit back. And that's just a true fact. So when it would come back, I'd obviously speak to this woman absolutely poorly. Like, I'd give her attitude, give her everything under the sun that would make her be like, oh, you don't need to give me that attitude. And obviously the boss picked up on this and kind of questioned me about it, and is like, oh, she's told me you did this while we're gone. I didn't really get a chance to explain my side of the story. It was a simple in and out fact of, I believe her. There's no you can say that makes me believe you. So like, okay. And then I never ended up telling him why I would be in this way and why I was treating her like that. So anyway, fast forward to like maybe a couple weeks later or a month later, I was due to do another house, clean another house, and I didn't mind the first time because I thought it was just a one-off, and I was told in my interview that we'd be chipping in every now and then, but when you hear that, you just think, oh, you're just chipping in like around your workplace, not elsewhere, not even in your work. So obviously I'm getting a little bit frustrated at this point because I'm like, I've already done one house, you know, I've got sciatica in my back. This is not helping me at all, one single bit. It's just making it worse. And knowing I had to stretch and bend and twist to try and, I don't know, get wallpaper off, clean mould. There were just many different things that I had to endure cleaning those houses that I never ever want to experience again. It did get to the point where one day I said, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to these houses, or do I have to? And the woman that was always horrible to me said, well, if you don't want to, then you basically have to speak to the boss, not me. And I still ended up having to go that day. So me saying I don't want to do it didn't really result in anything. So I did end up having a meeting with my ex-boss at the time, and he basically said he couldn't rely on me for anything, he said I've let him down, he's disappointed in me. There were quite a few other things that he'd said that tore me down to basically nothing. I felt absolutely worthless. Because in my mind I was thinking, the thing is though, I could have turned around and said no at the beginning to cleaning these houses, but I didn't, because I'm a nice person and I don't say no very often. I don't say no often enough. So I thought for me to do this out of kindness of my heart, you know, I should have that little bit of gratitude and not being told that I can't be relied on for anything, which I found very unfair at the time, but I didn't think no of it. I just went straight past my head. Didn't think no of it. So, oh, my neck. Oh. So it ended up getting to a point where obviously I'd had this meeting and I basically said that, you know, like, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to because I've been made to feel bad. So I'm trying to think what happened next. There's so many different things that had happened. There were a day that me and this other woman in my workplace that had to go to this house to clean up. This was actually the last house I ever cleaned or even remotely touched. So I'd come into work in nice clothes, and obviously when you're painting, cleaning, you're not going to want to be in nice clothes. So I did basically say I don't want to go because I'm in nice clothes, and then a horrible woman turned around to me and said, well, you're going to have to speak to him about it, not me. So okay. And then I think he messaged me or something. I cannot remember too well. It was that much pressure on me. And then she basically said, well, if you want, I could take you home and you can change your clothes. So obviously me, being me, I know if she took me home and I had gone into my house and changed my clothes, my parents would be like, what the fuck are you doing home? And if I had told him, you know, I have to go to this house, he would have probably gone outside and said she is not going to those houses. She will stay at home. Because my dad, everyone knew this wasn't in my contract. It did not state anywhere in that contract that I had to travel to houses, clean them. This was a whole separate company to where I was working. Sorry, background noise. I forgot where I went. What we're on about now. So, yeah, this one house that I'd gone to, I had to lawnmower and trim the garden. I'd never done this before. This was very new to me. I've never trimmed, never cut grass in my life. In the 20 or 21 years I've been alive, never done it. I was afraid I was going to cut myself or my feet or anything, any body part that touched that trimmer, because I'd never used one before, and chances are I probably shouldn't done it, and I shouldn't have even been at these houses, because if I'd have had an injury or fell off the ladders, then that would look very bad for these people, which I didn't think about until I'd actually gone. But my family did make me aware as well, if you do have an accident, that's not on you, that would be on them. I'm like, okay, I know. Anyway, did this house, did garden, cleaned inside. I got told off for running the lawnmower through the house because I didn't know how to get to the back. So there was a grass trail all the way through the house. Oh, quite funny. They'd seen me on a little smart meter because there were a tiny camera in there. So they'd seen me literally drag it through the house, which was quite hilarious for me to hear about that. But no, this other woman came because I was on myself when I was lawn mowing and trimming. And then another day had to go back to clean paint and all this other stuff, and one of the women that wasn't really well told us that a person had died in the kitchen, so we didn't think much of it. We were like, okay, fair enough. And then we cleaned all rooms apart from one. So we got to this room and surprise, surprise, we was greeted by a blood stain on the floor. It looked like it was a murder scene on the carpet. That's how bad it was. I did not touch that. And then one of the neighbours that were relatively close to this person, like super close to this person, did like know him, did go check up on him, and she didn't think no of it, that he weren't like banging about or whatever, or coming to see her. And then she let us know that he died in that bedroom, that we had found the blood. So maybe me, I was like, oh no. It was not good at all. I ended up not touching that at all, left it, and I refused to touch that, and so did the other woman. The next day, or the couple next days after, we kind of finished with that house. We had a rota where we had to clean the office because we're idiots. And we had to clean the office rather than a cleaner coming and doing it. We didn't get paid extra for this, just may I just slightly add in there. So I was asking like, oh, where's the mop? Because I'm gonna mop the kitchen floor while I'm cleaning pots and stuff. And that's when the nasty woman turned around and said, oh, do you think clean that blood off floor? In like a really sarcastic tone. And I'm like, oh, nice. But I'm thinking there's no need to answer my question like that. You could have just said, I had to use it, you know, to clear that blood off that floor. Not in the tone that she said that to me. It was only her that I ever had really a big issue with. So fast forwarding, finished with this house, and I got to the point where I felt severely depressed. I went home and I was just wallowing in self-pity. I was thinking, I cannot do this anymore. I didn't want to get up to go to work, but I had to. Whenever I booked a day off for the doctors or dentist or an emergency appointment, I was meant to feel bad. Because as you know, in my previous video I mentioned about my wisdom tooth cracking. That was around the time that my wisdom tooth had cracked, and I got an emergency dentist appointment, and we had training that day, or like a little meeting to kind of go over a couple of things, and that had to be postponed because I had this emergency appointment, which wasn't my fault. I had to get my tooth seen to. I wasn't going to be sitting in there, sitting in pain for God knows how long, or making it go worse because they don't want to be okay with me booking a day off. So quite stupid, but hey oh. I'm so tired, I don't apologise about this, guys. So what happened from there onwards? There's so much to unpack and get on with. This is already 25 minutes long. Oh god, I'm trying to remember what else had happened. I remember. So I was floating around the idea. Spoke to my family about it, spoke to my closest friends about it, about me leaving. It'd been my birthday. They gave me quite a nice surprise. They gave me a gift card and a card and set my desk up really nice. And then it came to the time when I was floating around the idea that I was going to wait until the end of the month and then leave. But bearing in mind, this was just an idea. This was not definite. I didn't say we're going to leave at the end of the month. I said I might be leaving at the end of the month. And so I came in one day, went on my computer, got on with work like I usually do, and I got called in for a meeting. The nasty woman told me, oh, so and so wants you to have a meeting. So I went in, and there was him, my ex-boss, and this other man. I'm not really sure what he was. Kind of confused me a bit. But I sat down, and then my ex-boss was like, I heard from the grapevine that you are sticking it out till the end of the month and leaving. I didn't really say too much on this situation, but I did eventually talk about how this horrible woman was treating me, and then they were like, how is she treating you like this? What is she doing? And my brain and my mouth just weren't functioning. I couldn't express how to explain how she'd been treating me. So my mind just kind of went blank at that point. I didn't know what to say. I stumbled a lot, and whenever I said to him, like, you know, she's always nasty to me, she just says sarcastic things, he just turned around and said, well, you've got two options. Well, you've only got one option, but kind of two. One of those options being that you kind of sort it out with her and get on with it, or two, you leave if you want to, because I'm not stopping you. So at that point, he was just basically saying that she ain't going nowhere. She's never going to be sacked. She's still going to be working there until she's probably old and grey, and probably a Karen. That's not a name, by the way. But anyone that knows fucking Karens out there, you know exactly what I mean. But anyway, he was saying that she's never ever going to leave, so it was pointless me even expressing that she was treating me like shit. Well, they basically didn't believe me anyway, so it were a waste of time even like expressing my feelings. Oh, I got an eyelash. Ow. Oh my god, an eyelash is doing me video of her. So anyway, it got to the point where I started getting a little bit emotional, and I could feel my eyes like building up with water as if I'm about to cry. And one of them basically said, you've got basically a decision to make. You either go and I'll pay you to end of month, or you can stay and work it out with her. And I thought, I cannot stand that woman any longer. I cannot do this. And then that's when I started to tear up. And then that's when my ex-boss said, you know, take 5 minutes, you look quite upset. No fucking shit. I would have never guessed I looked upset. the thing is, I actually liked that job. It's just a shame that the people in there. So anyway, went outside and called my dad and basically just told him the situation. Like, Ori's heard that someone's told him, you know, that I'm on about leaving at end of month, even though it's not definite. I was just throwing it around. Even they knew this. They were fully aware of what my thought process was. And I was absolutely bawling while on the phone to my dad. And he basically just gave me probably best advice I'll ever hear in my life. He said, well, it's up to you what you want to do. You just have to think what's best for you. But you've just got to remember you won't have any money until you, well, you will have that pay, but you won't get any more money until you do get another job. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, but I just don't think I can take this any longer. Like, if I was to stay there, chances are I would be very, very depressed, very anxiety ridden, and I wouldn't be where I am today if I'd have stayed any longer. So my dad gave me the best advice and said, you know, if you do leave, just give me a buzz and I'll pick you up. So I was like, okay. So I went back in after I calmed down, and they were like, well, what are you gonna do? So I'm gonna leave. I weren't happy about that decision, but I did what was best for me. And then the guy that was sitting next to my ex-boss said, I don't know why we bother wasting our time. Maybe that's the reason why people don't stay there very long. Before I left, another woman left for reasons I will keep personal and that I won't tell anybody about, because the way she was treated is the exact same way that I was treated. And she was a lovely woman as well, and I do keep in contact with her today and every other day, and she's very nice, and we do keep up to date with each other. And she has another job. I'm very happy for her, and she's happy for me now that we're actually on the right path of life. But after that, I pretty much, my ex-boss pretty much just said to me, you know, like, is there what you want to ask me? And I was like, no, I just mainly wanted to get out of there. So they were like, okay. I got up, went to my desk, grabbed everything I bought, went out that door. Well, I went to the fridge first and got my drinks. I thought, no fuckers having that shit. It's mine. I paid for it. I picked up my mouse mat, everything in my drawers that were mine, that I bought. And I walked out of that door with my head held fucking high. I did not regret a minute of that, and I didn't. And guess what? Less than a month later, I got another interview for the current job that I am working at. And I was very shocked. I'd had the interview. This woman was extremely nice. Basically started the job on the 28th of November 2023. So I'm still newish to this, but it has been one heck of a journey. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Some days are stressful, some days are lovely. I just love helping people. In my previous job, I felt absolutely helpless. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing every day. I don't know half the stuff I was doing, if I'm being honest. Just a little side note as well, when I was working there, the way that this woman would make us feel a bit self-conscious and stuff is because, one, we had to ask to put us earphones in if we wanted to listen to music and concentrate. So every single day I would message her saying, can I put my earphones in? Can I put my earphones in? Can I put my earphones in? And I'm pretty sure she got sick of it, but I had to ask every time. And sometimes I'd just put them in without asking, and she'd be like, earphones. And I'm like, that's what I was secretly thinking in my head. And then another instance, we had to use flags, coloured flags, red, orange and green, to say whether we wanted people to talk to us or not in that day. We had blue tack it on the screen. And another one, we couldn't go for a break an hour before we'd finished, which is understandable, but even if you were like a couple minutes after 4 o'clock, maybe even a minute after 4 o'clock, she would message into this chat and basically call you out. It's obvious that it were aimed at you. If you were 1 minute after 4 o'clock coming back in, there'd be a message saying, reminder, everyone, don't go for a break after 4, you need to go before 4. And then when you put your earphones in without asking, that was a message that you were sent saying, reminder, always ask to put your earphones in. And with the flags, that kind of just went down the drain. As soon as the boss got back from his holiday, these were non-existent because he hated things on the screen. Me too. But we had to put them on. It looked absolutely stupid. Like, I don't really have anything bad against the boss and this really, really nice woman that was working there. It's just the way I feel like they'd spoke to us, it could have been handled a lot more differently to how it was. I suppose if they treated it completely different to what they did, then I wouldn't have had this outcome. But everything happens for a reason. I left that job with my head held absolutely high. I don't regret it. Everyone always asks me, don't you regret leaving that? And I said no, because the pay weren't even worth it for the 2 jobs that we're doing, not just one, painting and cleaning houses. Also, side note, never got paid extra for that neither. As long as it were within working hours, I didn't get any extra. Granted, the boss would take us for meals and, you know, like, congratulate us for doing what we'd done well. There were points at these houses where it'd be like, oh, you've got paint on the ceiling, in like a pissed off way. I'm not a professional fucking painter, what are you expecting? I mean, you must be stupid if you think I'm actually going to paint the ceiling. Say that wall there was white. No, we'll say blue. No, we'll say grey, right, that colour grey. He wanted it painted this colour grey and the ceiling was white. If you got a little bit of that grey on maybe that bit of the ceiling, that's when you would be told that is an absolute mess, you need to sort that out. Come again. I'm not a professional painter or a cleaner. If I wanted to be a painter and decorator, I would have done that in college and got a degree for it. You know, I didn't sign up to paint houses and clean houses. That is not why I'm here. But I feel like if it had dealt with that differently, it could have been a complete different outcome. But it does feel good to get this off my chest, because I finally can talk about it. I could have talked about it months ago, but I just needed that time to myself and just to think to myself. And I do ask a lot of people even now, do you think I've made a stupid decision doing what I did, leaving? Like, no, you made the perfect decision. I mean, I could tell even and they were calling me, FaceTiming me. They could tell I weren't right. I mean, it must be stupid if I thought I was coming into work every day with a fucking smile on my face. I mean, as soon as I walked in there, my face was like that, constantly. It felt like I had to fake smile all the time just to make people think I was fine, and then when I just have a normal face, it was like, are you alright? No, you're my problem. Leave me alone. It just wasn't a good environment, guys. Thinking back to it, I should have left sooner. But I honestly didn't think. But if I did leave sooner, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I am absolutely grateful for everything that I've done and for the things people have told me. It's like I appreciate my family's support on the decision that I made, and now I'm working from home. I love my job. Maybe tough some days, but I fucking crack on with it. You know, I know what I'm actually doing. I actually help people. I'm not scrambling for answers like I were in my previous one. I'm not sat there not being trained on phones. I was trained on the phones in this job. I've been trained to the best I possibly can. I know a lot of things compared to what I did in that job. So I am proud of myself for that. I just think I needed to do this to get this off my chest and to finally talk about it so that I can move on completely, because it does stick in the back of my mind over this past couple of months since I'd left. It has been sticking in my mind all the time, and even the minute I left that office, it's as if it were rats up a fucking drain pipe. They couldn't wait to get on my computer and to pester me about this password that I put on it, because I did put a password on it, because there were instances where this woman would find out that me and this other girl were talking about her somehow, and we could never put us finger on it, but we did at the time have 100% like knowledge of how she would find this out. But I ended up putting a password on that computer so she couldn't sneak on it when we'd all gone for the day, because she'd always stay back. Also, I were a mailman. Took the post all the time because nobody wanted to take it apart from me and this other lass that drove. Even though the nasty woman drove past the post box every single day to go home, she just couldn't be asked to pull over for 2 seconds to put it in there herself. Or it was because she was staying later at work than she needed to. But I feel a lot better now that's off my chest. Don't have to worry about it anymore, and I'm going to move on. And if you ever get into a situation like this, just don't beat around the bush. Leave when you can. That's what I learned. I made a mistake staying as long as I did, but I don't regret that. And I hope if any of you that watching this today are in the same situation that I was, don't be afraid to leave. You will find better. You will do better, trust me. There's no doubt in my mind about that you will do better. But you all are going to kill it. And don't worry about what the future holds, because something will always crop up. Whether you're out of the job for a couple of months or a year, something will come and find you. I got this opportunity very luckily, like a month after I'd left my job. So I got very lucky in that instance. I know for others it's not that easy, but trust me, you'll find the light at the end of the tunnel, and I wish you all the best. But I've recommended to everyone that I know of not to go with that place, never to work with that place at all, and just let them know my experience. just so they are made aware of that, and if they do want to work there, fair enough, go for it. I'm expecting the tea messages. For others that are currently still working there, they did confide in me saying that they don't like it there, but they still continue to work there, so it can't be that bad for them. I've played on my arm. My arm's numb. What me and this lass made that decision to leave, and we're so much better now. And I'm proud of myself and her for this. And the woman that was really nice when I was working there, I appreciate her so much because she was lovely. She never had a bad thing to say about me, and I never had a bad thing to say about her. She was very sweet, caring and understanding, and no matter if you bothered her, she'd still try and make that time for you. But yeah, I think this is going to wrap it up because it's been 46 minutes, this video. Wow. And this is going to take a long time to edit when I get round to it. Let me know what you guys think about this, and if you have any situations like this, leave it in the comment box below and let me know your story. Or if you have a situation like this, also comment and I will give you the best advice I possibly can. So this has been me. Enjoy wherever or whatever you're doing. I hope you have a good day, evening or night or morning, and you lot take care of yourself. Think about your mental health and your physical health over everything. Right, I shall catch you guys in another video. Bye.